Good. Packer Nation, game day morning, everybody. Yes, it is game day once again. So it's also Thursday. The weekend is on its way. In the meantime, you have Packer football, then a Friday, and then a weekend. It can't get much better than that. Packers taking on the Raiders. Second preseason game that we've been able to play of the year. Second chance to see the Packers team get out on the field, get some live action against an opponent. This is exciting, okay, guys? This is going to be a heart-heavy show, and by that, I don't mean a show with a heavy heart. I mean a heart-heavy show, so get your thumbs ready if you're not driving, because does anybody out there have a heart for me for game day morning while we do Packer Nation roll call here? So give me a heart if you are happy to see Packers back. Grayson is here. Tim is here. Good morning, Tim. John and Stacy Hicks. Johnny, Tim, Adam, and Todd are all on board. Good to see you guys. Greg, Jose, and Hector is back. He always says good morning to everybody, so I'll try to reflect that as much as I can. Hey, man, Craig is here. Good to see you, buddy. Lindsay, Steve, Alex, and Dominic. Good to see you guys. Hey, and guys, where are you from? I see the hearts pouring across. We're hitting hearts if we're happy that it's game day morning. Ned, I pushed the show a half hour, man. I want to say I did it for you because it would deflect the fact that it wasn't quite ready. So, sorry about that had a little bit of a snafu there. A call came through. It's not supposed to be, but I'll have to figure that out later. So, hey, that's the way things go. It does not dim my happiness today. It's Thursday. It's game day. We got Friday. Then we got a weekend. This is looking good. Chris is on board. Shane is here. I'm looking for a guy by the name of Randy Hodge. My friend Andy, you've seen me give Andy a shout out once in a while. If Randy, if you're on, what we do is Packer Nation roll call first off. Just throw your name out. Let us know where you're coming at me from, which I believe right now is Johnson City, Tennessee. This is another Packer Nation across the globe and going strong right here in Johnson City, Tennessee. Good to see you, Terry. Adam Rogers is back. Hey, man, you read my mind. Okay, so Phil read my mind. You guys can see what he asked. Here's the question. Again, I told you this is going to be a heart-heavy show. So if you are happy to see Jordy Nelson activated off the PUP list, give me a heart right now, guys. Let's let those things flow. Now, nobody's expecting to see him play. I can be totally patient to see him play, especially in the preseason. But if you are happy to see Jordy Nelson activated off the PUP, give me a heart right now. Again, if you're not driving, I don't want you interacting. You know, safety first, right? But yeah, everybody is pumped and stoked. And you know, we don't want to read a whole lot into it. It's not like we're going to see Jordy catch 3 touchdowns in the preseason game against. We're not even interested in that. What we are interested in is exactly this. What it tells us is that Jordy Nelson is hitting his benchmarks to be back 100% and to be himself when Jordy Nelson gets out on the field, and Ned is coming back in and definitely mentioning no need to see him play. Of course, we all agree with this. But heart me if you are happy that he has been activated off the PUP list, because it says he is hitting his benchmarks, and Jordy Nelson is on his way to being back, being healthy, and being 100%. Yeah, we got Johnny says it has a number 87 with a green and gold heart. I agree. Good to hear about Jordy hitting those benchmarks. So Nate is here. Good to see you. And Jared is here. Good to see you, man. Yeah, so there are a lot of good things going on. Of course, one of them being that, you know, it's game day. We're going to once again get a chance to see these Packers go out on the field. Now, yesterday, you guys gave your prediction. My prediction post is up on the GPN website. You can see it on the GPN Facebook fan page. I have got the Packers winning this one 20-17, but here's the big discussion right now, right? We talked about this yesterday. The big game changer in this preseason game against the Raiders is basically who gets to play quarterback. What is going to happen at the quarterback position? Aaron Rodgers has kind of talked like, yeah, he's ready to play if he needs to. Maybe he'll get in for a snap or two. I don't expect Aaron Rodgers to play at all. We had that question asked yesterday, and I said, no, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to play. I don't expect him to play. I honestly, in the back of my mind, I don't want him to play because I freaking don't want him to have a chance to get injured. And we know that third preseason game is where he's going to get kind of in sync and build chemistry with the new kids that are on the block, but also to get in sync with those guys that he has worked with in the past. That third preseason game is the important one. After that, I don't really care to see Aaron Rodgers on the field. However, that being said, if Aaron Rodgers trots out on the field in this preseason game, I'm going to be freaking stoked. So there's no doubt about it. I want to see him play, but I would rather wait and be patient, even though it's difficult. Hey, my friend Dale is here. Why would they play him? It's not necessary. That's exactly right. It is not necessary, but don't be surprised if they do. However, now in past years, I would expect to see him. I'd expect to see at least a series out of Aaron Rodgers. We saw a series out of him in the very first preseason game. Now, it's the injury to Jordy Nelson that has really changed the way that Mike McCarthy looks at these preseason games. He is more concerned with managing risk than really anything else right now. He isn't afraid to risk young players, but Aaron Rodgers is a guy, again, I don't expect to see out on the field. However, again, if he goes out on the field, I'm going to be stoked to see this guy rip the ball around to guys like Jared Cook. I want to see him hand off to Eddie Lacy, which is another discussion that we're going to have next. But barring Aaron Rodgers, then there is another big question, and that is Brett Hundley is slated to return, has showed some real promise in last year's preseason. However, we've got a third quarterback battle going on between Callahan and Williams. How are the reps going to be distributed in this game? I want to see, I said this yesterday, I want to see Hundley play a half because he hasn't had a chance. We lost the Hall of Fame game altogether. He was hurt for the first preseason game against the Browns, and now he goes in, and this is a Raiders team that's going to be a very different situation. Again, don't be surprised if the Packers lose this preseason game, and we could lose this game, and it could be the best thing that happened to us at this point for our young players. But I want to see Brett Hundley get out on the field. I've been excited to see the guy play because Brett Hundley showed so much promise, but this is his season. He had in front of him a 5-game season, and now it's been cut down to 3 at most. I'd love to see him get in for a full half in this game. We'll see how Mike McCarthy manages these reps, manages these players. But I expect Hundley and our two that are going for that third position, really, Callahan and Williams, to take all of the snaps tonight. And that's just fine with me. It's going to be a great test for them against a Raiders defense that has a fantastic pressure package. They are going to be playing their starters longer than we are. The Raiders are looking, they have a retooled defensive backfield. They are going to need to get these guys some time, and that's what they're going to do. Add to that the fact that they are not in the same mindset as Mike McCarthy is, and that is put the young guys in. Let's throw the young guys into the pool right now. Let's find out what they can do, because when we do that, we make our team better. But we also manage the risk. We're protecting our veterans. We're protecting our starters. That's why you haven't seen a Julius Peppers. That's why you haven't seen a Clay Matthews out on the field. So we'll see how it goes, but that quarterback position is very important. Who are you guys? Here's another question. Who are you guys going to be watching for in particular tonight? Who are the players to watch for you? I'm going to talk about a few. I'm sure there are a bunch. I'll try to keep an eye on the screen at the same time. One thing I want to watch for is what I call Eddie 2.0. Eddie Lacy 2.0. He looked good in limited reps against the Browns. He actually, I thought, looked quite good. I thought he looked improved. I have said and predicted from the beginning. I just saw Pro Football Focus just this morning is making their bold predictions, and they are following me in saying Aaron Rodgers is going to have a career year. And by that, I don't necessarily mean that he's going to break his record in every stat, but he's going to have a career year. He's in passer efficiency, possibly in touchdowns. Eddie Lacy is going to have a career year. I predicted this. If you're with me, you can go ahead and thumbs up if you want or whatever. That's great. Because I know I'm not the only one, but I also know that Pro Football Focus is just finally catching up with what's going on in Packer Nation. This team retooled with Jordy Nelson coming back. We've got a lot of young players, a bevy of wide receivers that can really, truly be dangerous. I'm first of all going to watch Eddie Lacy 2.0. I want to see if he can continue to play the way he did against the Browns. I don't want to see him get too many reps, but I want to see if the play continues. Another guy. How about, of course, we're all watching Blake Martinez. Okay, he's one that we've kind of got on our list. We've got circled because we believe that Blake Martinez may have to play a lot of reps for the Packers. But here's a guy that isn't going to have to play a lot of reps for the Packers, hopefully. I think, Kyler Fackrell got a sack in that game. I've been really high on him, and I've been mentioning this. The guy is so quiet that I wanted to see him. He seemed like the kind of guy that was going to prove himself on the field. Well, he did with a sack in the preseason game against the Browns. He's going to have a much tougher test this time around. I'm going to be watching Kyler Fackrell. I think he bought himself more reps is what I think. So I think we're going to see him a little more in this game, and I am going to keep my eye on him because I really like the guy. I like the guy's length. I like the guy's speed. He is not a young kid. He comes in as old. He comes in at average age of the Packers on his rookie year almost. But I do think he has the tools to be a good player in this league, and he's got a nose for the quarterback we saw last game against the Browns. So I'm going to keep my eye on him. Of course, we have talked about, for me, Geronimo Allison is another one that he had a nice catch against the Browns in the preseason training camp at family night. He has shown himself to be in the right place at the right time and run great routes. Geronimo Allison, of course, Trevor Davis and him are I think, in kind of a bit of a duel right now. Trevor Davis being a guy that we drafted, Geronimo being undrafted. This has become an interesting battle to me right now. And I'm going to have my eye on Allison right now, though I've been high on Trevor Davis in the past. So Chris says he's excited for every game. Yeah, me too. I just can't wait to see him play. And we had somebody come on and comment, and this comment is out there. It happens. It's legitimate. Who cares? It's the preseason, right? And my personal comment back is, well, Kenny Clark does, Kyler Fackrell does, Blake Martinez does, so I think I do too. Jason Spriggs does. Eddie Lacy does. He's fine if he doesn't play too. But these guys think it's important. They are not in a who cares mentality, so frankly, neither am I. Plus the fact that I just want to see this team get out and play, have an inkling of where they're going, what kind of depth we're going to have. This preseason can show us a lot about our depth. So I am definitely interested in this game. It's a busy day. I may be racing back just to catch the beginning of it, but that's another story, guys. So I'm looking at Eddie Lacy. I do want to see if he can stack successes as Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy uses that term, stacking successes, usually for the rookies. For me, it's Eddie Lacy, and I saw a comment come across, maybe it was you, Ned, I can't remember who did it, but basically saying Eddie Lacy it's almost like a prove-it year for him. This is a contract year. I say he will pass with flying colors. Guys, the Raiders game is going to be a different game. The Raiders are a different team. They've got a lot of different focus of what they're needing to do in their preseason games. The Packers are kind of filling out and shaking out a few third-string options. But for the most part, we kind of know most of our positions are known commodities. So the Packers have a very different approach to the preseason than the Raiders do. The Raiders are going to be much more aggressive in who they play again. So guys, don't be surprised if you sit down and you watch this game, you watch a preseason game, it's very vanilla offenses and defense. They're not throwing a lot of stuff. They're keeping everything close to their vest, right? Now, if the Packers go down in this game, it's an easy game to walk away from because, again, it's meaningless in terms of who wins. But keep your eye out. Here's what I want to see. I want to see some of these young guys, twos or undrafted free agents playing against ones or twos is what we're going to see matchup-wise in this game. And I want to see some of these guys flash that they can play against quality opponent, a quality team, quality opponents. These one-on-one matchups can be absolutely crucial to a guy building a career in this league. And these are the kind of games that are going to be fantastic for our team going down the road. I promise you that. This may be the most boring game of all. And on top of that, we may lose, which is disappointing on top of boring. But this may be one of the most significant and crucial games for a couple of these players. Look at guys like Blake Martinez. Do you think he is not just like a stallion in the stable right now, just can't wait to get out on the field? He got 11 reps in the last game, guys. 11 reps. He's wearing the communication device now. He didn't get pulled because he did anything terribly wrong. He looked good in coverage. He showed promise. He had a nice stick in that game, but he only played 11 reps because that's the nature of the preseason. Blake Martinez is another one that probably showed that he earned some more reps in this game. And again, in this game, don't be surprised if he doesn't struggle at a time or two. Maybe he shoots the wrong gap. But this could be a huge learning experience for Blake Martinez. I want to watch him too, see if he gets a few more reps in this. Somebody's asking if the show is captured in a mirror. Yes, of course. It's always going to be, everything's going to be sort of backwards to you. The G is going to look backwards on my shirt when I wear it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Because I'm using my front facing. Okay, so that's no big deal. I got to be able to see myself. Andrea is asking about Sam Barrington. What a great question, Andrea. Yeah, the guy's got to get out on the field here, doesn't he? And you saw what Blake Martinez could do. How about that Carl Bradford? Anybody got a thumbs up for what Carl Bradford did in the preseason game against the Browns? This guy made a case. I love my son and I were watching this game together. And our conversation was this. Before the game, the conversation was Blake Martinez, how is he going to hold up? Conversation at inside linebacker, right? Conversation was Blake Martinez, how is he going to hold up when he gets the communication device on? The conversation at the end of the game is, holy smokes, what has happened to this battle? It is just blown up in our face. There are so many people who are making cases for themselves, and that's where this stacking successes comes in. Carl Bradford is going to get out on the field. I think we'll see, because of the way the coaching staff approaches this, I think we're going to see Blake Martinez get some more reps, which means Carl Bradford may not get quite as many. But again, has he not earned reps in this game? Absolutely. Can't wait to see him. And of course, Sam Barrington, they've got to get him out on the field. He hasn't played. They got to get him out on the field and see where he's at. And keep in mind that with this being the second preseason game, they've got to get these guys out on the field to decide what they're going to do in terms of the third preseason game, because that is the critical game of the preseason. Fourth preseason game, we're going to throw a bunch of guys out there that we're not sure about, guys that are on the bubble, and we're going to see what happens to make our final decision for our final cuts. Man, this is pretty dang exciting for being the preseason. So I am really excited about this game. And then, of course, the next game is going to be interesting, too, because then we've got to make, that's the one that we make our big decisions. We go out, we put who we think are the starters on the field. So this is going to be an interesting night, folks. It is game day. It's a Thursday night. You roll into your Friday, and then you're happily seated in your weekend. And you can watch all the other games if you want. There's other preseason action you can watch without having to worry about missing your Packers. It's going to be a great day for me just on a personal level. It's great to see guys. Dale is on here today. Dale coached my son in American football. My youngest is now playing soccer. He's got a game tonight, which is why I may be struggling to get back on time. I got a wedding to go to with the world famous Reggie today. It's not our wedding, but it's a wedding that we're going to. Going to do that today. Going to check out a soccer game today. I love watching my son play the game. He freaking awesome. So go Benj. Shout out to Benj. He's a kick butt soccer player, and I can't wait to see him play tonight. It's undefeated versus undefeated, so that's exciting. Well, guys, I hope you have some of that kind of cool stuff slated for your Thursday evening. And rolling into the fall like this, you've got high school football to look forward to, which is always fun for parents out there in particular. It's great football to watch, and it's going to be a great weekend. I will let you get to it, folks. I know some of you have work to get to. Some of you have jobs. I feel like I work, but it's a different story for me right now. So at any rate, I am here for you. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I appreciate all of you giving me thumbs up. If you're watching this on YouTube and you subscribe to my channel, that really helps us out a great deal, and I truly appreciate all of you getting on. Keep your ears on for exciting Packer news and exciting things coming to GPN that are proprietary to GPN. We've got some good stuff coming online as the season comes along. Of course, we get Jeff Hayes jumping in with his R&R, which I love to read. It's my favorite thing to read after the Packers get done playing a game. Mike Davidson getting on. We've got a bunch of stuff, cool stuff coming on. And of course, it gets really exciting when the season rolls around. Andrea, thank you so much. I love having all of you guys on here. It is truly great to be able to interact with Packer Nation, and I have enjoyed talking to each and every one of you. I do apologize if I miss anybody as the roll call goes, because I have to try and get into the show at some point. It's really rough for me. I don't want to have too much downtime. I do want to get into it. But as we close, guys, Go ahead and put your name up and where you came from. Again, if you didn't get a shout out early in the show, I will do that on the way out. As I finish up my morning coffee, I hope you guys got a warm cup in your hand as we celebrate Packer Game Day. All right, we've got Paul is here from Gillette, Wyoming. Haven't been to Wyoming in a long time, but love it. Great to have you on. Paul is here. Ravwama, I am probably pronouncing that wrong, but what a cool name. He says, go Pack, go to everybody, so shout out to you, man. Ned says, cool, laters. And remember, Ned says 13-10, I got 2017, and we'll give a shout out if you get it right tomorrow. If your prediction was correct, especially during the live show, let me know. Bye-bye, Jared. I hope you have a great day or night. I'm not sure what it is. I always get this mixed up. We got Tammy from West Bend. We got Johnny from South Dakota. Ricky from Little Rock, Arkansas, and Adam says, have a great day. Same to you, brother. Evie is here from Kenosha or Evie, I'm not sure. I hope I pronounced that the right way. Well, I pronounced it both ways. So I'm hedging my bet there. Claudia, have a great one from Texas. Hold it down there. Packers going to get the ring. That is our motto here, is get the ring, and it is time. This is the year. Ben is here. John is here. Night. Oh, Jared says it's night. Have a good night, man, and I hope you have a great weekend. We'll talk to all of you guys later. Have a fantastic Thursday. It's game day, and a great Friday tomorrow, where I will catch up with you again. Tomorrow I should be back at my regular time, so it should be about 8:30 Central Standard Time, guys. We'll catch you later, and go Pack.